Well, today, quite frankly, is about writing names into the history books because in Northern Ireland we have got a chance to wrap up our first ever treble with victories against Linfield in the league and in the Irish Cup final. The title is already done, the Antrim Shield was won earlier in the year, but can we finally beat Linfield in a cup final in addition to toppling them in the league? Yes, hello and welcome along to part 126 of this Build a Nation story, Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. We are back today to start with a momentous moment in this save, and hopefully it will be followed by another historic one too. We face Linfield in the final game of the league season with a chance to give youngsters a run out, rest people for the cup final, and celebrate the fact that we have passed 100 points and won this title in style. Only our second in this save, and the first time we've really dominated Linfield in a domestic season. We then tried to establish ourselves as the best side in Northern Ireland by beating the same opposition in the Irish Cup final. Because don't forget, for all of Linfield's troubles this year, to be fair to them, they've got the same sort of points total as normal. They have still beat us in a League Cup final, and whenever we come up against each other in cup finals, like the Irish Cup last year, it's Linfield who comes out on top. So if you want to see if we can put that right today and meet some of our new youngsters in the first team for the first few times, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Before we go and get into these two, I'm going to very quickly show you what's been going on off camera. And then of course in the next episode, it will all be about Coefficient Watch. For now though, let's go and have a look at the schedule because you can see from the top of the screen, we've got a couple of suspensions. We've got a big injury for the cup final too. The form has been good since that Leeds doubleheader. A remarkable second leg in that tie, and we built on it the 3 games after. A 3-0 win against Coleraine was enough to wrap up the title. Gash, Smith and Dunn scored the 3 goals there, and Cliff O'Connell made his debut off the bench as we continue to try and push our own youngsters into the squad. Against Glentoran away from home, we took a few gambles. We went for largely the first team, but we also brought in a few of the youngsters. So, for example, Stow started, as did Cliff O'Connell as centre-half, and then off the bench we brought on the 2 Caulfields, Nick and Jonathan, for their debuts. None of them featured in midweek because with 10 days to the cup final, it was all about getting everyone match fit. So the likes of Lafferty, Goss, Daly, they all featured in that one. And we also got a comfortable 4-0 win, thanks to Scully, Parry, Cowan and Dunn. The problem, of course, we got a training injury for Jude. He's going to miss the cup final. But against Linfield in a doubleheader now, we've probably just about got the better squad, albeit the 11s are still very similar. So let's go and get through to the fixtures and have a look at the first one. I should give you a quick Northern Ireland update as well, which I'll do if we've got time later. If not, I'll bundle it into the season review. But we face Linfield. I'm not worried about the result. I just want to keep people fresh. So none of the 11 that are going to play next week are featuring today, bar 1 or 2 who have got a light match load or really need the fitness. So let me show you what we've gone for as nearly 5,000 fans are in. Basically, the only people who are going to start next week if everyone's fit are Neil Kane in goal, but we rested him on Tuesday. Paul Ray at left back, he's playing because Stow is unfortunately suspended, but we will bring on Curtis Bell for a farewell if we can. And we've also got Neil Daly, who is likely to be the man who replaces the injured Jude, albeit it could yet be Cowan with Dunn dropping into midfield. So the 11 we've gone for today is pretty much rotated, but it's about getting the bench up to speed as well. So the likes of Lafferty, Griffith, Simpson, you need a little bit of match action. Max Whelan as well, and they'll get it today. It's Neil Kane in goal, Murphy and Raider fullbacks with O'Connell alongside Goss at centre-half. Great to see an academy player in the league again. Thompson back from injury alongside Daly, Whelan and Lafferty out wide. And then Morgan Griffiths behind Simpson up front, with the 2 Caulfields on the bench, Lewis Scott and Curtis Bell possibly getting a farewell. Then a couple of big hitters at the bottom, just in case we need them. Let's go and get into it against Linfield. I'm not really expecting a result here, but if we can keep it tight, if we can keep it pretty steady, I'll consider it a decent day. Let's see what sort of team they've put out. Well, for Linfield, it's 5 changes. They've gone for a backup goalkeeper, which is interesting. They've dropped out Lennon and Martin in midfield, so they're resting some of those for the cup final. But generally speaking, it's a pretty strong team. Kellyman's got the golden boot for the league. Ed Turns is the first centre-half, so actually, they've probably rotated a bit more than we're letting on. They've still got Mackie and Brooks, who are both regulars on the bench in our Northern Ireland squad. So there's plenty of talent at that football club, and it's not to be sniffed at, this lineup. Let's go and get through and ask the lads to impress us. We're probably not going to win this game given the 2 11s, but to get another youngster in the team from the start is great. Cliff O'Connell developing well. The 2 Goldfields will get an appearance as well. It's really nice to get to that stage now where we're looking at youngsters through our academy who could potentially contribute at first team level in the future. And this is a great chance to get them a few months of mentoring and a few months of first team football. As O'Connell with the header away there. Murphy wins the ball back in the middle, but we're trying to be a bit intricate with the play and we didn't have the space. As Ferrisage is in, Neil Kane for some reason went and stood on his post. He didn't cover the goal at all. And Tommy Murphy couldn't get back. It's 1-0 to Linfield with 9 minutes gone. And to be fair, that's the individual quality. This is not what we're going to be judged on today. We want Linfield to get confident after this. Think they're going to turn up and win the cup final easily. And then our first 11 will give them something to think about. A quarter of the game gone. We have had the better of the stats. We are still creating chances. And to be fair, most of this 11 was probably first team last year. Murphy was as good as Reed was last year. Ray was first choice. Goss was first choice. Daly was pretty much there. You see, Whelan was better than any striker we had last season. We're still bringing on Michael Hatton in last year's cup final. Morris Simpson was first choice, as was Lafferty. And Morgan Griffiths was on the bench. So this is showing how far we're developing. But we're able to basically rotate 7 or 8 of an 11 over the course of a year. It's been our biggest ever upgrade in this save. And now we're watching our backup team. And they're competing against the best side in the country until this year. As Kellyman finds Allen, this could be 2. But there's the big news to the left of your screen. He's just gone down at the bottom now. Ferrisage has picked up a knock. He's gone down. He was holding something. He's still on the pitch at the moment, though, so it can't be that bad. At half-time, 1-0. The stats are pretty even. You know what? Given the fact we're resting everyone, I've got no problem with that at all. We'll give the lads a bit of a kick up the backside. Apparently, we want some more from them, but I'm happy with this. As Mackie's in, headers over the bar. We'll get to the hour mark. We'll bring on a couple more youngsters. This is all about preservation today. If we get to the cup final with everyone fit, then we've done our bit well. As Brooks gets the ball at right back, Daly heads away. Griffiths will chase it, but he can't get there. And here's Patterson in defensive midfield to Collier. Good ball over to Adair, the youngster. It's cleared away via the post by Murphy. Mackie picks it up on the right to Brooks. He's got the chance to cross, but can't get it in. They are starting to dominate this game now, there's no doubt about that. But here we come with Thompson and Murphy. He's someone who probably can't do more than an hour today, Thompson. He's been out for so long. As Murphy gets it inside to O'Connell. And Daly chips over to Simpson. Good first touch. The second one's not bad either. And it's somehow stayed out. Inside at the top of the post. And it just dribbled across the line. How it's not gone in, I don't know. But the truth of the matter is it hasn't. And it stays 1-0. We're just over an hour gone. We are going to make some changes. The first 2 are going to be the 2 Caulfields coming on. No doubt about that. Jonathan Caulfield will come on at right back with Tommy Murphy getting a rest on a yellow. We're also going to bring on Nick Caulfield in midfield for Thompson. We mentioned before he needs to preserve his legs. We're looking elsewhere in attack. Simpson's had a stinker. Who do I bring on? I don't really want to bring on the first teamers, so I'm going to go Lewis Scott. We'll put Lafferty through the middle. I can't remember the last time he played up front. Hamilton could come on at the back, but he's looking anxious. Bell at the moment is disenchanted, so we'll save him a few more. But Ray is someone we want to rest, as is Neil Daly. So they'll probably be the 2 to come off in a bit. We'll try and make that work in terms of tactic, as they've got the ball at the back with a long ball forward. O'Connell, bit of a panic clearance that, but we'll expect that. This is the biggest game he's ever played. As Lewis Scott comes down the left. It's a bit of a throwback seeing him in the first team, isn't it? Down the byline he goes. Back to Ray. Has support again. Chips over towards Scott. Brooks heads it clear. Northern Ireland International against someone who's not been first team for us for 8 or 9 years. As Kellyman gets in and puts it over the bar. It's a good effort. To be fair, we have not got the better side out on this day. So with 20 to go, we're just going to make the final 2 changes. Ray will get his rest to preserve him for next week. Curtis Bell, out of contract, won't sign a new one. Farewell to him. He's been a brilliant servant. Must have played 200 league games. 237 this will be. And then we've also got Matthew Hamilton, who can a little bit play in midfield. So he's going to come on. We'll do it for Cameron Goss so we can preserve him for the final 2. Neil Daly was the one I would have liked to have done. Of the two, at least we can take one of them off. As Curtis Bell, the sub, has a throw on the left to Griffiths. Back to Bell again. Has support inside from Daly. Back to Curtis Bell. Can carry the ball down the line here towards the byline. No one chasing him. Puts the cross in. It's a dangerous ball, but no one's there. Back to Nick Caulfield. Into Griffiths. Lewis Scott. No way. Lewis Scott has scored. First goal of the season. I would love to know when his last goal was. And if that is a farewell from him, then that is one hell of a cameo. Fair play to the lad. Morgan Griffith sets it up. Caulfield was involved as well. That's remarkable. Lewis Scott, who would have thought it? As Collier goes over the top. It might be short-lived though. O'Connell does well to mop up in fairness and find Neil Kane. He brings the ball out of the fence to Bell. It's an awful ball. And Neil Kane, the only first teamer on the pitch now. And he's done that. I mean, all he had to do was pass it to the player or clear it long downfield. Oh, that's abysmal. You can't legislate for that. But I'd rather he get it out the way now than in the cup final. We're going to go positive for the final 5. It's ruined Lewis Scott's last appearance. He's made 5 off the bench since he's come back. I mean, look how long he's been here and how long it's been since he was first team. The 3rd season he became a backup player. He's been out on loan for years as well. Ah, what a man. It's such a shame that that goal's not going to mean more. But we've put up a fight with a backup team. We've given it one hell of a go. And we've seen a bit of the future with the 2 Caulfields and O'Connell. As O'Connell wins another header there. It's back to Patterson and Martin. Another one that's a regular in my Northern Ireland squads. And one that's been linked with us in the media reports. As Hamilton heads away for Caulfield. Last minute of stoppage time. Nobody's up there for the long ball. We've not really got one of those target men up there, which doesn't suit our current style. As McKinney puts one in the corner. The offside flag is up though. I didn't think it was, but it's given. And it stays just 2-1. So Linfield win this one. We expected that at the start of the day. What is going to happen in the cup final? This whistle should go any minute now. Surely there's not one more chance. Bell releases Griffiths. It's a free kick Distillery. Is there one more chance to get it in the box? Let's see. Morgan Griffiths will take it. Tons of players up there. Caulfield brings it down. Oh, he nearly produced a heroic moment, the youngster. It's over the bar. It's a 2-1 win for Linfield. For this game, the result did not matter. Let's go and get ahead to next week at Windsor Park. It should be a big crowd in attendance, and most importantly, it's the one we need to win. Let's go and see if everyone's fit. Well, history beckons. Here it is. It's the Irish Cup final, and we have got a chance against the side who beat us in last year's final to wrap up a historic treble for this club. A quick reminder for those of you about our history and where we are in this save. We've just won our 2nd league title 3 years after our first. We've also won 1 SPFL Trust Trophy last season. We've won 1 Irish Cup, which was 6 years ago now. We've won 1 League Cup, which was 5 years ago now. And we've also won the Antrim Shield on 3 occasions, including this season. So this is a chance for just our 2nd Irish Cup of the save. For the club, just the 2nd in, what is that, 64 years? This is a remarkable stage to be on. And if we can make it a treble as well, with Martin, Lennon, all of those coming back in the team, this could be one hell of a day. Let's go and get the changes made. It's going to be a near fully rotated 11. Windsor Park is sold out. It's an expectant crowd. And most of them are going to be on Linfield's side. Well, in terms of picking our team for this cup final, we only really had one decision to make today. We knew Jude was out injured, but did we go for the like-for-like replacement in Neil Daly? Or did we drop Dunning and get the extra attacking player on? Well, Stephen Cowan is finding form again, and that has made my choice because he is coming in on the right wing. Dunn drops into centre midfield and Merival Austin goes number 10. The rest of the team you could have probably named for me. It's Neil Kane in goal, Reid and Ray the fullbacks with Mackenzie alongside Luke Smith as centre half. We've got Dunn and Gash the midfield 2 with Merival Austin ahead of them. And then Parry and Cowan off Scully up front. 33 goals for the season for him. He's had a pretty poor finish, and a few of these lads just running out of steam towards the end of the year. But this is the opportunity to make it a treble. With a strong bench there if we need it. I'm feeling confident this could be our year. Let's go and see if we can do it and finally topple Linfield. And here is the side that we're coming up against. They've left turns on the bench. They've dropped Ferrisage and Brooks for this game. That is a very bold team selection. They've brought in a few players into midfield, including our former man Rory Lennon. So 4 changes for them. More than that for us. Let's just go and enjoy ourselves. No real pressure on this team today. We know we're probably the favourites on paper, but to be fair, Linfield, because of their reputation, because of the size of the club, they're the team that are still expected to win by most. So it does give us a benefit of playing with freedom. And with those attacking players we've added during the season, if we can get them in the game, we will be rocking. As Buchanan comes down the left for Linfield early doors. We don't want to do what we did in that league game, albeit a very different team. We do not want to concede an early goal. And Neil Kane is one of those finishing the season poorly. Caught in no man's land there. Rory Lennon, his former teammate, nearly punished him. He didn't do too well to put that over the bar in truth. But we get away with one. And with 20 gone, there have not been any shots on target. Another KG Cup final at the start here. And is it going to be like last year where Linfield got on top? Certainly the penalties can't be any worse if we get to that. As Merival Austin brings it down for Parry. Our first chance to see an attacking move. And Parry's shot is just over the bar. Speculative effort will encourage the lads. That is the first sign of pushing on. If you look at the stats, no one's had a great chance in this game. We've dominated the ball. We've dominated the shots, but without anything clear cut. As Mackenzie has got a free kick. We've got everyone camped in their half. And this is the difference now. We can dominate games against Linfield. Last year's cup final, we were clinging on for dear life, weren't we? As Scully goes up, Doherty's there. Distillery playing good football here, but no breakthrough. And at the moment, a smash and grab is still a possibility. It's a long ball forward. We know the quality of Mackie. Oh, what are you doing, Gavin Reid? He's made an awful mistake at the back. I'm sick of seeing that highlight where the player gets the ball and then just stands still with it at his feet until it's taken off him. Luke Smith then decides to run past him instead of just staying in his position. It doesn't make sense, but it happens so often. And at half time, look at those stats, it's horrific. We've not created anything brilliant, by the way. But Linfield, 1 shot on target, 1 goal. I don't know what to say. We can't lose it like this because it's what happened in the League Cup final. That game, it was a ridiculous red card. This game, it's a ridiculous goal. And at the moment, there's no sign that we've got a goal in us, which is the biggest scary part. Cowan's having a poor game in the final. Maybe I got the team selection wrong. But here we are on the front foot. If we score, we'll go and win this game. But Reid again. Oh no, you've not done it again. Every big game is a red card. Every single one since the January update. I'm sick of games being settled by this. People who don't get sent off for 5 years and then they turn up in a cup final or a big game that decides a league title or whatever, and without fail every time it's a red. We have had, and I'm going to put it here, we have had 3 red cards this season. 2 of them have been in the domestic cup finals. This is getting ridiculous now. The other one was away at Leeds as well, so it's not like there's not a pattern to this. We're going to have to bring on the right back Murphy. Who for? I'm going to go for Stephen Cowan. We'll sacrifice him. Merival Austin out to the right. Murphy the right back. I'm not changing the way we play here. We're staying aggressive. We've got to chase this game. I'm going to try and encourage the one still on, but this is becoming too familiar a pattern now. Is it hard-coded that we play Linfield in finals and get a red card every time? It seems to be deciding every game. As Smith gets forward to win the ball here. Not sure why he's pressing so high, but he gets it. Merival Austin inside to Gash. We need one of the big players to step up, and Mark Scully is that man. Jordan Gash finds the through ball, and with 10 men, we are still on top against Linfield. We are back on terms with 25 to go, and we're still dominating the stats at 11v10 as Ray wins it back for Dunn. This is how much it's changed in a year. We can go down to 10 and still be the better team. As Merival Austin goes back to Murphy. The sub right back holds it up for Smith. Could be Reid's last game for the club, by the way. That would be amusing, wouldn't it? As Murphy holds the ball up again. Smith into midfield or no. Back to Mackenzie. He's got another yellow, so he'll be banned at the start of next season. As Damien Dunn unlocks the door. It's a great ball from Parry. And Mark Scully completes the turnaround. It's almost been a blessing in disguise because we've gone down to 10. And then Linfield, look at those moves. Linfield have started playing up a bit more. They've been a bit more aggressive, tried to put it to bed, and it suits us down to the ground. Now we've got to decide, do we stick or twist? It might be too late. Kellyman's got himself in. Across the box, great save, Neil Kane. Mackenzie nearly scored the own goal, and we get away with it. The cross is blocked, it's a corner kick. Oh, what do we do here? I don't really know whether to make the move or not. The 2 defenders on the left side are struggling. One's on a yellow, which I'm worried about. I don't want to take any liberties here. I don't want to stay positive for too long. But is it the right move to drop now and counter-attack? Does it just invite pressure? Mackenzie is doing brilliantly in the air, but it falls for Patterson, who's forced backwards. The pressure is excellent. We've got 15 to go, and we are still dominating this football match, which is probably the most impressive thing. Merivale Austin is really struggling physically. Now I'm going to go a bit more cautious. We're going to put Dunn out there. We're going to put Neil Daly on in midfield. Two proper central midfielders with a balanced mindset. We're also going to take off Paul Ray for Miles Dow. Duncan McKenzie, no risks on a yellow. It will be Cameron Goss for him. And then we've got one more for later on. Do we make it yet? No, we don't. We're going to save it for now. Just in case we need a Morgan Griffiths cameo or a penalty taker. We're going to leave it, but we're still on the front foot. We're dominating with 10 men. How things have changed. Damien Dunn goes back to Murphy, into Gash. Scully in the box is a great save. Oh, this is wonderful to watch. We are playing so aggressively and so confidently, despite having that red card. And if we can turn it round and win it, it will be a big changing moment for Northern Irish football. Jordan Gash in the middle is knackered. We cannot risk it anymore. Do we go Whelan or Griffiths? I think we have to go for the original tried and trusted. He's not rated that well anymore, but Morgan Griffiths, if you need a man to depend on, he is your man for the occasion. Morgan Griffiths will play as the Mazzala, and we've got 5 minutes plus stoppages to go. But look at those stats. In a game we've been down to 10 for the last half an hour. We have turned it around. We have won the final. The 6-for-8 strikers made an impact. We've been brilliant for most of this game, and it would have been a crime if we hadn't won it, just as it would have been if Linfield didn't last year. But here comes the big moment, our first ever treble. Yes, it's not the big 3 competitions, but it's 3 out of the 4. But the seismic change in the league table and the big performance change in the Irish Cup final signals a big moment in this save. Add to it a European quarter-final, and we will have a lot to reflect on in next time's season review. The coefficient is moving in the right direction. Distillery are moving in the right direction. And now we've got access to Champions League qualifying for just the second time in our history. Well, it's great to see that the prize money is increasing in Northern Ireland too. We got 105 for that game. We got 200 for winning a league as well. We're starting to make good money from these competitions in addition to Europe. Mark Scully, the hero, hadn't had a great finish to the season, but 2 games and 2 big headers when it mattered most. In fact, 1 header, wasn't it? But what an end to the season. We've got youth players in the team due to winning the league early. We've won 3 competitions. We've gone far in most of the others. And a quarter-final run in Europe as well. It has been ridiculous. What an achievement it's been. With the players in early, maybe we could reach the Champions League groups next year. Certainly the Europa League should be a minimum. But let's just enjoy the fact that we have won 3 trophies, been runners-up in one others, semi-final and quarter-final in the other 2. I mean, you can't get a much better season than that. We are going to be back in 2 days' time to dissect this wonderful year. We're going to have a look at where we need to improve in the summer. We're going to do a massive focus on coefficients and the Northern Ireland national team, because we've got to start tying the 2 together as we move to the final phase of this Build a Nation story. Let me know down in the comments who you thought the stars were this year. We'll have a little roundup of that in the next episode. But what a difference a year makes. A treble, some brilliant players into the club, and an absolutely wonderful finish with 10 men. Hopefully we can get a few of those back on loan, even if Gavin Reid did get sent off there. If you enjoyed it, a very good finish to a very good season, and please do put a thumbs up on the video. If you want to make sure you don't miss that season review and our summer transfer window over the next few days, then do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We've got big action coming tomorrow as well, as the head coach heads into a new season, and we've got a summer transfer window courtesy of our director of football. We've also got links to the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and of course the blog story up in the eye above. But thank you very much for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you back here next time for a coefficient review and a plan of the summer transfer window.